Okay, dotted eighths, dotted eighths. Cool stuff. You guys have these sprinkled throughout the show. It's a neat rhythm. It has a lot of groove and pocket behind it. I'm going to break it down some for you. So let's start with a little bit of music theory. Okay, so dotted eighth notes on a 16th note grid are worth 3 16th notes. Correct? Okay, so one quick and dirty way to determine dotted eighth note interpretation is to play 16th notes and accent every third 16th, like this. So here we go. Okay, so we get okay, makes sense. Okay, so that's a quick and dirty way to determine dotted eighth note interpretation. Okay, what's cool about dotted eighth notes is there's polyrhythms involved. So if I play dotted eighth notes continuously, I'm going to line up with the quarter note every 3 counts. Okay, that's because a dotted eighth note, again, is 3 16ths. 4 dotted eighth notes times 3 16ths is 12 16th notes, right? It's the same number of 16th notes in 3 beats, or 3 quarter notes. Okay, so I get this 4/3 polyrhythm. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's cool. It's awesome. Polyrhythms are neat. Okay, so if I play the polyrhythm part, I get okay 4/3 polyrhythm. Check, checka, checka, check, checka, checka. Okay, check it out. Okay, and that's these rhythms, the polyrhythms, those that sound, okay. When you familiarize yourself with those breakdowns, you can remember that interpretation just as you're playing the dotted eighth note. So even when I'm just playing, I'm hearing with the metronome. So listen for the polyrhythm against the met. Okay, cool. Those are dotted eighths. The other place I get another type of polyrhythm is if I do it against eighth notes. Okay, turn on the eighth note here. Okay, now let me play the eighth note with my left hand so you can figure out what polyrhythm it is. Okay, it becomes 2/3 or 3/2. Actually, it's 2/3. 2 being the dotted eighth when you play it against eighth notes. Okay, so there's another polyrhythm in there that you can use to reference. So if I take this out, now listen for the polyrhythm when I play the dotted eighth isolated. Okay, and it's all about being able to hear those polyrhythms, whatever they are, and then you're just filling in the one part of them. That's one great way to be able to subdivide these dotted eighth notes. Okay, let's put it in context. So basses. I think this is the last 7/4 bar in the closer. You guys have these 4 dotted eighths in a row. I've called you out on this measure a whole bunch. Da, 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 da. It's the last 7/4 bar right before the 4/4 in the closer. Okay, so we're lacking good, clean, consistent dotted eighth interpretation, and it's so important that whole bar is a 4/3 polyrhythm, and it's really, really cool, but only if we're very precise with the dotted eighth interp. Okay, so now I'm at 156, so here's tempo. I'll listen to it for a second. 1, 2, here we go. And I'm listening for one of two things. I'm listening for the 4/3 polyrhythm. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, now listen to it again. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. 1, and E. Okay, and the key to really executing it is that you have to set yourself up on the second note, and then you just play fluid, consistent space all the way through. So you could do it continuously if you wanted to, but it's all about setting up the space on the second note, putting the right where it goes. One E and okay? 1, 2, here we go. 1, and E. Here we go, continues. Okay, that's the idea. You can do it continuously if you wanted to, okay? So when we get there, you got to really feel the. And this left hand would be my foot if I'm marking time, because that's the quarter note. So if I tap my foot here, it's kind of hard with the pad. Okay, I'm just doing my right for right now. You hear the polyrhythm against my foot? And that's exactly what you guys should be doing when you're marking time there, is you're making that 4/3 polyrhythm between your hands and your feet. Doesn't matter what the sticking is. I think it's right, left, left, left. Da, da. Okay, and that whole measure is cool because it does dotted eighth notes all the way through. So we get and then the snares come in. Okay, so I think the whole measure. Something along those lines, but it's cool. It only works if the dotted eighth note is intact. Okay, makes sense. Feel that 4/3 polyrhythm with your feet. Everything will be cool. Okay. Last spot where we have the same thing is at the very, very end of the show. The snare drums are jamming the 16ths, right? They got the big. Actually, this is at 170 at the end. Okay, so there's your 16th note bass. Go back to doing 3 16th notes per dotted eighth. I can do it with puttitas. Okay, but it's 4/3 polyrhythm. 2, 3. Okay, and what we actually have is is the bass part. Okay. And the same thing, exact same thought process. I'm trying to make the 4/3 polyrhythm with my foot, or with however I'm physically interpreting the quarter note. Dun ga dun ga, dun ga dun ga. Okay, that's what I'm listening for. Listen for as I'm playing. Okay, I think your part is actually Okay, so let me hear that. Okay, it's really, really easy because it's so close to try to interpret it as a quarter note triplet. Okay, so it would be really easy to go. Hear that? So now I'm interpreting as a quarter note triplet. But it's too fast, right? That interpretation is faster than what a dotted eighth note is, and so that's why it's so important to hear the 4/3 polyrhythm. Okay. And with the snare shot, you get. And it's really akin to what you'd find on like a drum set beat, where you'd have. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Basses, that's your part. So listen for that 4/3 polyrhythm. Okay, and then tenors, you guys have much the same thing. You get and it's going to be the exact same thing. I'm going to be listening for that 4/3 polyrhythm. Foot. Okay, that's what I'm listening for. That rhythm. And it's all about, again, just like I was telling the basses a little bit earlier, It's all about that second note, the It's boom, a foot, boom, a foot. That's what you got to feel for to set yourself up. Okay, pay attention to that, listen for it, boom, a foot. Okay, that's it, guys. So you really need to spend some time getting super, super accurate on your dotted eights. If you do that, man, the parts are going to come to life and they're really going to groove for us. If we're just kind of feeling our way through it and hoping for the best, it's not going to feel great out front. It's just going to kind of feel ambiguous. Okay, we don't want to feel ambiguous. We want to feel great. We got to have perfect time. If you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas, feel free to post them. Hopefully this has been of help. Take care.